Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I'm Larry Roberts.
And I'm Sara Losi, and this is Branded, your comprehensive guide to creative branding.
And on this episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about a variety of tools with an emphasis on one that you can use to build your personal brand.
And by we mostly mean Larry, because he is super smart about this, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
I really don't even know how to respond to that. But in all honesty, we're going to be talking about AI tools today. And, you know, AI can be very, very intimidating. We're only about a year into this AI revolution that we're experiencing. And we've been inundated with all of these different tools that a lot of us don't know how to use. So one of the things that I've done to kind of circumvent all of these different tools that are coming onto the scene is really focus on one. And in all honesty, it's ChatGPT. It has definitely been the go-to for me. And Sara, I mean, I know you know how to use ChatGPT as well.
I know how to use it, but there are many, many features that I know that I am not using. And you walked me through the whole you can add plugins thing. So now I can add plugins. Did I? No.
You know, it's funny because a lot of people come to me with questions about ChatGPT and they're trying to do this task or that task. And ChatGPT seems to be a little limited when it comes to, I don't know, accessing the internet or a variety of other types of tools. Maybe they're trying to read a very long block of text. There's a variety of different things there where ChatGPT tends to struggle. And that's where those plugins come into play. And so walking you through how to use those plugins, I would have liked to have thought it was at least a little helpful.
Oh, no, this was when I texted you saying, hi, how do I turn plugins on? And you showed me how to turn on plugins. We didn't get that far. We're not at the actually using them stage yet.
Okay.
You need to teach me like I'm in kindergarten.
Well, it's funny you say that because I often look at ChatGPT and I refer to it as a brilliant toddler. Because so many times people are trying to use ChatGPT.
That's what my parents call me.
Yeah, I don't know about the brilliant part, but the toddler I can definitely dig. But ChatGPT is kind of like that brilliant toddler. It has all the answers, but we kind of have to coax it in a way that gives us the responses that we're looking for or that we need. And the plugins, they help us in that arena. So I'm curious, what were you trying to do when you reached out to me to learn how to use plugins?
I think I wanted it to read a PDF.
Okay.
Because I needed it to like read an ebook for the persona modeling.
Oh, look at
I'm
you
sure
dropping terminology.
Yes, I know words.
Look at you.
And I know that's like a new thing. You can like actually upload a PDF and it'll read the whole thing. So now I know I can add plugins, and that is about as far as have gotten.
Well, that's cool. You know, and a lot of people are trying to use ChatGPT to build their brand or establish their brand or grow their brand or leverage ChatGPT to write blog posts or even books that reinforce their brand propositions. And that's something we can totally do. One of the things that you brought up there was persona modeling. And that's a very technical term to talk about a new feature that ChatGPT offers, which is called custom instructions. And within those custom instructions, it allows you to not only model who you are and what your goals are and how you'll be using ChatGPT and some other AI tools, but there's an additional text box that allows you to define how you want ChatGPT to respond. So you can set parameters like respond professionally, respond whimsically, respond in a way that resonates with X type of audience. So that's when we get into these persona modelings. These custom instructions allow you to do exactly that.
I am ashamed to admit this, but I have asked ChatGPT to write puns for me. Um,
But
I'm
hold on. You're not ashamed at all.
No, oh no.
You're
It's
not
not the
ashamed at all.
hold
No,
on.
you're not. No, you're
Hold
not.
on.
No, you're
It is
not.
not the puns I'm ashamed of. It's that I
Okay,
needed help.
I
I
got you.
take pride in my pun abilities, and I have had to say, like, I need more puns for this newsletter or for this blog. Please add puns. And that is probably my biggest source of shame in my life right now.
That's pretty punny. But regardless of that fact, ChatGPT can definitely help you writing your puns. If you think back all the way to January when I did my talk on ChatGPT for podcasters back at Podfest almost a year ago, I actually included 5 dad jokes up there that ChatGPT wrote. So if you structure it properly, ChatGPT, it has a personality.
Hold on.
Yep.
We can't just blow past. What were
What?
the dad jokes?
Oh, well, we
Do
didn't
we
discuss.
remember any?
We no.
Oh,
If we had talked about this prior to the episode, I would have looked them up
we'll
because
include
they're
them in
in
the
my
show
presentation.
notes.
Yeah, we'll include them in the show notes. There we go. I love that. But depending on what you're trying to do, ChatGPT can help you achieve it. We just have to lay that foundation with those custom instructions and with that persona modeling exercise that we were talking about. And a lot of people struggle in this arena. I mean, I literally just got back from the Dallas affiliate of ABC this morning. I was on ABC talking about what's the difference between AI and AGI, where AI is artificial intelligence, and that's some of the tools that we're using, and they perform one singular task based on one data set, and they have to have humans interacting. And we were talking about what's the difference there with AGI, where AGI can perform a multitude of tasks based on a multitude of inputs or databases, and it requires no human interaction. That leads to a lot of confusion. A lot of folks think that AI is what we've seen over the last several decades in sci-fi movies, but that's not the case. It's not HAL from, what was that, A Space Odyssey 2001. It's not the Terminators. It's really a tool that we can use to expand everything that we're doing in regards to our brand and our business.
So are we like on the cusp of having the Transformers?
Opinions vary, but most are saying we're anywhere between 10 and 50 years before we start seeing any kind of real AGI in effect.
Oh, you might not even be alive to see it.
That's kind of rude. I mean, no, that's just flat.
You'd be 101.
Well, with AI, maybe I'll live that long. I don't know. Ideally, with some AI, I'll live that long, but we will see.
Specifically for personal branding, are there a few things that someone should put into these custom instructions in order to make it more fitting to their brand so that they have that brand clarity and that consistency in their message?
Yeah, 100%. They should definitely focus on identifying exactly who they are, what their background is, and what their goals are. They can include things like their educational background, their experience in their field, whether they've had an opportunity to speak in their field, or whether they've had the opportunity to gain certifications or degrees in their particular field. These are all things that ChatGPT needs to know in order to lay that foundation, to have an understanding of exactly how it needs to interpret what they're saying and how they're saying it. So the more information we give to ChatGPT, and when it comes down to these custom instructions, we actually have a total of 3,000 characters that we can use. But that 3,000 characters is split up into 1,500 apiece. That first 1,500 is all about the user. It's all about you. How do you want to use ChatGPT, and what are you trying to convey? What is your message? What is your brand? What are your values? What is the ethical proposition of what you're doing and what your business is doing? What's your mission? What's your vision? That's what those first 1,500 characters are for. Then that second 1,500 characters is very specific on how ChatGPT needs to structure those responses. Again, you want it to sound professional? Do you want it to sound whimsical? Do you want it to cite any sources that it reaches out to online? Because right now, ChatGPT, once again, has access to the internet. So we can get live information that's current. Previously ChatGPT only had information up to 2021. But now it can use Bing and go right out there and get current information for any of the queries that you present to ChatGPT. So it needs to understand exactly what you're trying to go with there and whether or not it needs to reinforce the messages that it gives you with citations so that you can actually reference those in maybe your marketing materials or maybe your books or maybe even your social media posts.
How did they land on using Bing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I think they landed on on Bing because, Google is
because no one else is using it.
Nobody
so
else
we
is
might
using
as
it.
well.
It's so funny, dude. I used to watch Hawaii Five-0.
Was Ask Jeeves taken?
Probably yes, or Duck Duck Go if you know that one. But I used to watch Hawaii Five-0, and it was so funny because they'd be trying to find a criminal or whatever, and they'd be like, "Let's Bing it," and it would take me completely out of the show because we all know nobody Bings anything.
No.
But the bottom line is, Bill Gates got a ton of money, got a ton of influence, and he invested significantly in OpenAI, who are the creators of ChatGPT. So with him investing in their platform, they attached themselves to Microsoft and, Bing. So that's kind of where we're at with that scenario.
Does Bing know all the stuff? I feel like it's just kind of that unwanted stepchild of Google.
Well, it has nothing to do with Google. And does it know all the stuff? Sure. Yes, it definitely knows all the stuff. It has access to everything that Google has access to. It just doesn't have, and this is really important for our audience.
It's branding.
It doesn't have that brand. Nobody says Bing it. Everybody says Google it. That's the power of branding right there.
I feel like if you think of Bing, you're more likely to think of Chandler than a search engine. At least I am. Like, Bing it. Okay, do I need to throw in a bad joke? What do I do?
Well, I think you just did. So I think you're on brand right there with the whole Bing
so
thing.
Good at this.
So.
Chandler, Bing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually surprised.
Interest you in a sarcastic comment?
If we're gonna hit with the whole age thing, I'm even shocked that you even know who Chandler Bing is.
Oh, I can recite every episode of Friends. I win Friends trivia every time I try. Come on now.
Do you?
My phone, you know how autocorrect will change things based on what you say?
Okay.
It'll automatically capitalize the word friends because it knows I'm more likely to be sitting on my couch watching Netflix than actually talking to real life friends.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well,
it hurts my feelings.
Here's a little kicker for you. I've actually sat on the set.
I know.
Of Friends. Yeah, I've sat in Central Perk. I've sat in Rachel's apartment. So it was kind of cool. It was really, really fun when I was out there at Universal to be able to take that in. Because, I was watching Friends, back when it was running for real. And I'm glad that you're consuming it on Netflix. It's awesome. So it's good that we have this generational connect here. So that's a lot of fun. But regardless of that fact,
hold on. Were they on a break?
They were definitely on a break, dude. They were definitely on a break.
Okay.
But does that justify it? I don't know. Does it?
See, that's the thing. It's technically, yeah, you were on a break, but I also hate Ross. So it's I'm going to be on Rachel's side.
How do you hate Ross?
How do you not?
He's so innocent.
He's so awful.
Oh, why is he awful?
Oh, I could write a whole dissertation.
Well, we'll hit ChatGPT to find out exactly why Ross is so awful.
Check the show notes.
Check the show notes. They were definitely on a break, but I don't know that justifies anything. So, but what you need to do, man, seriously, if you want to use some of these AI tools to build your brand, the first thing is make sure you educate yourself on exactly how these tools work. There's so many of them out there, and they're evolving at such a rapid pace. Even as we sit here right now, ChatGPT is rolling out the functionality to where it can hear, see, and speak. So no longer are we. It's pretty scary, but it's kind of cool at the same time. So if you have ChatGPT on your mobile device, whether it's iOS or whether it's Android, doesn't matter. You can actually speak to ChatGPT and it will give you a response in one of 5 different voices, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. And we can literally just carry on these conversations. It was so cool because I saw a video the other day where they had 2 phones side by side and it was ChatGPT on both phones and they were carrying on a conversation back and forth. So it's ChatGPT talking to ChatGPT. So it's kind of meta.
That just sounds so lonely. It's like, yeah, me and my friends are having a chat. It's 2 phones.
Yeah, well, it's not that much different than LAN parties from back in the day, where everybody bring their machines to someone's house and they'd all link their computers together and then play video games together. So I see your face. You've never heard of a LAN party?
No, when I was growing up, we had something called the internet.
Fair.
We could do that from the comfort of our own homes.
Very fair, but at the same time, there were times where people would bring their machines over to someone's house. They would all log onto the internet and they would play whatever games it was that they were playing at the time. So anyway, dating ourselves there. I'm so surprised you're not that young that you've never heard of a LAN party. That's kind of crazy.
I remember we had like field parties, but that was when people would just black out in a cornfield.
That was called a rave, wasn't it? When that way,
not when you live in a farm country.
The little glow sticks, and y'all were like, doing all the craziness.
No, I grew up in like the sticks. We had.
Oh, all right.
We didn't have stuff. I mean, I was at home knitting, but
yeah, I'm sure you were. You're so innocent.
I actually never went to. I was never invited to a farm party, but they did have farm parties, and people would just black out in a cornfield and.
Yep.
Call it a day. So those were the parties we had. I still to this day prefer like a pizza party than anything else. But...
I would love pizza right now. That'd be amazing. So anyways, bottom line, if you want to leverage some of these tools to grow your brand, ChatGPT is a great starting point. I love the tool myself. And although I speak all over the country about AI, ChatGPT is always my go-to. I mean, it's kind of the foundation of all the other tools that are out there. The vast majority of the tools that are out there are using the ChatGPT API or the back end of ChatGPT to even power their tools. So why not go directly to the source? And it's becoming so robust and it's offering so much functionality that it just makes sense that we learn how to use this tool and we optimize it to fit our brand, to fit our message, and to fit our audience. So I highly recommend you do a little research, do a little digging, figure out exactly how you can persona model yourself within your ChatGPT session. And you don't even need the paid version of ChatGPT to do it. Custom instructions are available on the free version as well as the paid version. Now, while I get nothing from ChatGPT for recommending this, I highly recommend you use the paid version just because that language model that's behind the paid version, GPT-4, is much more robust. It's designed for collaboration. It's designed for creativity. So you're going to get much more in-depth and accurate answers than you may get from time to time using the free version, which is their 3.5 model. So with that in mind, do a little bit of homework there. Figure out exactly how you can persona model yourself within ChatGPT. Use those custom instructions to build out your account so that it reflects your voice, your brand, and your message for your audience.
I did for the newbies that understand ChatGPT about as much as I do. I found a little easy workaround in a pinch, which I mean, I feel like everyone's probably done this, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
Cool.
If you just copy a blog post or something you've already written and start the chat by saying, please adapt to this voice and this writing style and paste that in, it will do it within the chat. It'll answer sounding like you sounded in that blog. That's only going to last the lifetime of that particular chat. So everything Larry is saying, that's all permanent. It's like within your account. But I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So I've been sticking to just the mimic what I said in this, and it has worked pretty well for me.
That's perfect, Sarah. I love the fact that you brought that up and you summarized it that way. So you hit the nail on the head. So with that, hopefully you guys found some value in this. Hopefully you're going to do a little bit of homework and figure out how you can model your persona within your session of ChatGPT and then leverage that persona to continue to build your brand, your message, and your audience. So with that, I'm Larry Roberts.
I'm Sara Lissy. We'll talk to you next week.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.